Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for our part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, where we're going to update our watch list, talk about the stocks we're putting in our watch list, putting in our bullpen, etc. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us, Spacula. I don't know if Douglas is out there. Please let me know if the volume and everything sounds okay. So I'll go ahead and just jump right in. So if you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, this is for the week of June 6th through June 10th. Part 1 is titled A Good Defense is the Best Offense in Trading 2. So I would highly recommend that you view part 1. That gives us our analysis of the market, all the input data, what we see, are we still in a bear market, etc. The answer is yes, we are. And again, it gives us all the sectors that are moving and is the input to our stock picks for this week. So again, we'll start with trade updates. These are the trades that we made during the week. The first one is we got stopped out of the rest of our position in VTI. VTI is the total market ETF that we're using for long-term investments. As you saw in part 1, the market's chopped down, and so on the first, we got stopped out. You can see we made a nice profit, almost 7% ROI on this swing in BTI, which equates to a monthly ROI of almost 17%. So congratulations to all our fellow BeachBum traders who also profited from that swing in BTI. We did a longer term swing, and then we also did a quicker scalp. Scalp, I think we just pretty much broke even, but this long-term swing was nicely profitable. And you can see we're going to watch VTI, wait for it to come back down, and we're going to swing it again. And as we talked about in part 1, if the market is range bound this summer and chops up and down like it has been, that's perfectly fine. We can make these nice profits by swinging VTI up and down. A lesson learned I also wanted to share with you all is in this swing down in BTI, I had a stop limit order on position in Fidelity, this one was an E-Trade, and it was a stop limit order, and because the price gapped down, I think this was on KTOS actually, and because the price gap down at open, it went below that stop limit order. And in E-Trade, just like we found out in Fidelity, those stop limit orders don't get triggered if the price gaps down. So in Fidelity, we started using stop loss orders, and it looks like in E-Trade we'll have to do similarly. Now, my experience with Webull was that it did trigger the stop, but that was probably a stop loss order anyway. And so that's, again, a lesson learned I wanted to share with you all, that if the price gaps down or up, some of these stop limits don't get triggered. So be aware of that. I went in and canceled that one, and we'll reposition it. So again, you can see these real-time alerts. If you're a member of our Patreon, you'll get emails on when we make these trades real time as quickly as I can. And then those also I'll post in the alerts channel. In our Discord, and I wanted to talk about another option. And good morning, Tanvir. Thank you for joining us. So in our alerts channel, if you're a member of our Patreon, you also get access to these alerts channels. And you can see we get automatic postings of alerts that I set up in Thinkorswim. And when they get triggered, they get automatically posted to this Thinkorswim channel in our Discord. And then if I actually make a trade, either a buy or get stopped out, then I'll update that in one of the alert channels, either Trade Alerts or the Thinkorswim Trade Alerts. So you can see here's where we got stopped out of BTI. So again, if you want to get real-time notified alerts, again, we're not financial advisors. We don't recommend that you follow our trades, but we hope that the alerts help you get some trade ideas as to what's moving at the time and how you might want to act appropriately. So another thing I wanted to share and discuss with you all is I have another automated system that runs pretty much from 4 a.m. all the way through extended hours, because what I found out is Thinkorswim, Webull, etc., the alerts that you set up in those systems, they're not triggered in extended hours. They only get triggered during open market hours. So if a price crosses a line that you were hoping to get alerted on, you're not going to get alerted in either Thinkorswim or in Webull during pre-market or in after hours. So I have a separate automated system that collects data, talks to the E-Trade API, etc., collects data from Thinkorswim, does a number of calculations, and then sends me emails based on these alerts. And I'll show you an example of what these alerts look like. I saved the batch from Friday. So these are all the emails that I got from this alert system in my Gmail from that automated system. And you can see I get a number of alerts. It tells me things are moving up. Here's BOO is moving up. Gush was breaking out, QYLD was breaking out. So things moving up, moving down, it tells me when to move stops, etc. And here's kind of what these currently look like. It tells me, what my target buy is, what the current price is. It tells me it's moving up based on price trends, bid-ask trends, convexity, etc., and then pulls data. This is all working with data out of the database, my custom database that I use. So the reason I'm showing this all to you as a starting point is to see if you all want another channel in the alerts in our Discord where I could automatically send these alerts from the same system to our Discord now. And again, I just want to bring that up as a starting point for our discussion. We can discuss it further in the comments, in the Discord, etc. But I wanted to show you and start asking this question is, do we want to also include this in our Discord? So think about it. Let me know in the comments in our Discord if you would like me to add this. Now, one of the cons to this is that it's noisy. You can see it generates a lot of messages. Sometimes these messages can be duplicated because the price changes and it's still moving up. So it's going to tell me again it's moving up, or it might break down and then break back up. And again, it's going to tell me again that it's moving up. So a lot of times I quickly scroll through these, see if there's anything I want to pay attention to, and then I typically select all and delete most of them. So again, that's kind of the pros and cons, but it does allow us to get alerts during extended hours. And again, they may be, the timeliness is, how fast did I collect the data, analyze the data, send the email, get the email in Gmail. So again, I just wanted to bring it up, something to think about. We'll probably talk about it again in weeks to come. Y'all let me know what you think. What do you want? Is it too noisy, too much information, or would that be additionally helpful? I find this very helpful in pre-market, etc., because again, it tells me, oh, look, the VIX is moving up, UVXY is breaking out. So I could jump over there, and if I'm trying to do a day trade or a scalp, I could try to jump on that more quickly, even if I'm not watching the graph in Thinkorswim, etc. So some of the benefits, I just want to bring it up, share it with you. We can talk about if we want to add that to our capabilities for our BeachBum trading community, if that's something that interests you. So now let's talk about our updates to our watch list for this week, and we'll jump over to Webull in a second. Firstly, I'll just go through my notes and then we'll jump over to Webull and look at the graphs. I wanted to mention that BIG, which is big lots, we talked about yesterday a little bit, what the thesis behind watching big lots or discount big box retailer. We think they're going to benefit from essentially the recession and increasing inflation. And And we think the recession and inflation is going to benefit big lots and hurt some of your higher end retailers. So we're watching big lots right now. I'll show you the graph in a minute. You'll see in the news they recently fired their chief merchandising officer after they came out with poor quarterly results, which he probably deserved it. He or she probably deserved it. They messed up. And so it took a dip and then it bounced back pretty quickly. So the other thing to note about big lots is that it has the next dividend date on the 9th, and they're going to pay out. So if you buy before the 9th, you will get a 30-cent per share dividend if you want that this quarter. So it's a consideration. We also expect the price to dip by approximately 30 cents on the 9th because of that ex-dividend date. So it's a consideration in buying big lots is if you want the dividend, buy before June 9th. If you want to catch the dip after on the ex-dividend date, then that will be on the 9th. So, and I see speculators asking about Bitcoin. I don't know what you all think about Bitcoin, but let's see what it's doing right now. It's down 720 right now. Ethereum is up 13 right now. So we'll look at it in the watch list, and then we'll look at the graph too. So drip and SCO are the ways we can scalp oil. We're waiting for oil to peak up above 130, at least hit its top at 130 again. We're going to look at adding a scalping position to short oil further. Similarly with natural gas, we want to add a position to scalp natural gas if the price breaks above the recent high, which was 945. So if it peaks and is clearly rolling over, then we're going to look at scalping both oil and natural gas. Again, oil with drip or SCO, natural gas with cold. Then we've talked about for a couple weeks now about the opportunities in trading volatility. And please see, we went into this in more detail in Adapt or Die Part 1 back for the week of the 30th through the 3rd. So please see the details in the notes and in that video. And again, the notes for all of our game plan videos are available in this Trading Game Plans Google folder. And I didn't mean to do that. So here's the Trading Game Plans Google Drive folder. You should have access to all of these Trading Game Plan notes in that. Yeah, oops. Good morning, Douglas. Thank you for joining us. So again, I think, there's good opportunities for scalping, day trading, possibly swinging UVXY, SVXY. We're looking at longer term swings. UVXY is the ETF to long volatility. SVXY is currently the one we're using to short volatility, but we're also looking, and you'll see that in that other video, we're looking at SVIX, but I still need to do some more due diligence on that to decide which of those is the best. So again, VTI, we're looking for it to come back down to this 52-week low area or support bottom, and we would then go long. We would go long big again on VTI and ride it back up. Eventually, the market's going to bottom and turn back up, and we want to be in for that long-term turnaround in VTI to benefit from the long-term rise in the stock markets. And again, this is eventually will be a long-term investment. We'll hold it and just ride the markets up with a large sum. So again, if you're looking for long-term investments, you can see our video on why we're choosing to use VTI versus VOO or VT. So VTI is the one we're going with. So, and it seemed to perform nicely. I like the way it performed in this last swing. If one of the markets is chopping up or down, it doesn't cause too much volatility in BTI. It's going to trend with the overall markets. It covers 4,000 stocks, so it's even not as sensitive to just the NASDAQ Dow and S&P 500. So. And then we've talked about the Chinese tech stocks, the leveraged ETFs we use to swing or scalp. You can use them for day trade, scalping Chinese tech stocks. The short is called Yang, Y-A-N-G. The long is called YINN. And again, if you look at my 4 a.m. Where your stocks video, you can see I typically look at the hottest screener in Webull to see which way the Chinese tech stocks are going, and that gives you an idea of, okay, are you going to long Chinese tech stocks today or short? They're also very sensitive to news, so if the POC does something, it'll turn, it'll reverse. So. Manufacturer moving some products from China to Taiwan, and yeah, Douglas, they started even pre-pandemic moving a lot of manufacturing to Vietnam. Again, that's a longer term topic to talk about. But yes, manufacturers started moving to Vietnam, etc. Those countries lack some infrastructure, so there are some issues. But yeah, that's a longer term trend. I think we started talking about that last fall when we pretty much said we're not going to touch any Chinese stocks directly. We're going to use these ETFs only or Taiwan stocks because of the risk. And the fact that you're not actually holding the stocks directly. These are what do they call them? I forget the term, but it's some P.O. box in the Bahamas is all you own. You don't actually own the stock. You don't have any legal recourse. If they bail on you, your money's gone, period. So, again, longer term topic. I won't babble about it further right now. So, again, further updates to our watch list get posted to our Patreons and also to the watch list updates channel that you have access to as a Patreon in our Discord. So keep an eye out for intra-week updates to our watch list via that way. So. Well, I'm glad you like the babble, Douglas, but I don't want to chew up too much time. Yeah, we will have further discussions about that. We could talk about it in the Discord too a little bit. Let's see. Biden pushed out the Saudi visit. Yeah. Yeah. I think the oil, that was part of the bounce back in oil. So let's jump over to Webull. We'll look at our watch list, the charts. And again, just a quick reminder, they're still offering 6 free stocks for their 4th birthday at Webull. You can find our affiliate link to Webull in the description box below, off of our YouTube page, etc. You can get 6 free stocks right now. With Webull, the first 2 are valued at $300 each. The last 4 can be valued up to $3,000 each. Again, Webull is the trading platform that we actually do most of our trading. It's our favorite trading platform. We love the 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Trading hours, which you really can't get in many other places. So again, Webull is our actual trading platform of choice. So let's look at the charts real quickly for what we've got in our watch list. Again, we talked about big. I'll zoom in a little bit. So we see that drop on earnings. They bounced off of the support level, went up a little bit. I'm looking for it to come back down to that support. It's been kind of flat right now, but it did bounce nicely, so it doesn't look like it's going to break down further. Trip again is the short on oil. And it's trailing down, but again, we're waiting for a peak in oil. And again, this is not directly on the oil price. It's on the oil and gas exploration companies. So it may not directly correlate with the oil price, but it should roughly. If you want to play the short on the oil price directly, you could use SCO. That's directly on the WTI price. So, and we can see it's trailed off as well. So Franklin Wireless is again an infrastructure play we've had for a while. And it's a low float, it's kind of choppy, still watching it. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see kind of where my price target line is, was at that low. It's come down, now gone kind of flat. Yes, I have 3 cats, Tanvir. I've got a family, a mother and 2 of her kittens that we've had now for their rescues. And they're pretty sweet. If you see all of our memes, that's our kids. And you'll hear my little boy as often shows up on our videos carrying his treasures around. As soon as I start talking, he very often is squawking in the background carrying his toys around. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a mom and her 2 kittens. It's our family of cats right now. One of these days I'll talk about the menagerie we've had in our house over the years. My partners, well, we all like animals, but yeah, again, longer story. I won't babble about it, but yeah, we're cat lovers, we're animal lovers. So, but we have cats. So sorry to get off topic again. I'm trying to keep up with the chat too. So, okay, so we talked about Franklin. We talked about JVA for a while. As a coffee company. I like them from a consumer staple type of play. Coffee's been popping up and down. I'd like to get into them. I've been looking around 278, 281. I tried to put an order in a couple weeks ago. It didn't catch, but I'm still watching them. I still like them. Again, low float, kind of choppy. But those types of consumer necessities, coffee, food, gas, those are going to be recession proof. They're inflation proof. If the price of coffee goes up, they raise their prices. Not a big deal. Cold again is the short, and you see in SCO and cold, that's when they did their reverse split. So you see this big jump, and then it continues on its way. That's when those ETFs did their reverse splits. Then we can see it's been kind of choppy, flat. We're waiting for it to either come back down, or if nat gas collapses, then we have a long-term position already in cold and in drip that we're just holding for that eventual big collapse in oil and natural gas. But we'd like to do some additional scalping if we get the chance. And then we talked about trading volatility with SVXY and UVXY. So these are inverses of each other. UVXY is the long on volatility. SVXY is the short on volatility. We can see the VIX is currently, I'm looking at it, sitting at 24.79. So it broke down below 25. We saw yesterday in part 1. It's retracing right now. So unless we get some perturbation, which we might get on Friday with that CPI data, that would be the day. Possibly, if that is not as expected, that may perturb the VIX. So if you're looking for a long in the VIX, I would guess that may be the opportunity. Otherwise, I would expect it to continue to revert to the mean. So Equinox Gold EQX, okay. Yeah, I'm probably have that one in the database. We own several gold miners, PZG, gold and silver miners, PZG, ASM, Goro, GORO. There might even be a couple more. Let me see, Fury, FURY. Our main holding, what I really prefer nowadays for gold and silver, is Credit Suisse ETNs, which are GLDI is the gold and SLVO is the silver. There's also one for oil, which is USOI. And all 3 of those guys pay monthly dividends, a nice monthly dividend. So we have significant holdings in GLDI and SLVO. And even though gold goes down, silver goes down, they're still paying us a monthly dividend. And again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and those are good inflation hedges, good recession hedges. Is you could buy into GLDI, SLBO, even if the prices of the precious metals go down a bit, you can just sit there and collect the dividends. I believe they're optionable as well, so you could write covered calls. And good morning, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on cold? Well, again, as I mentioned, we want to use cold to short natural gas, so we're waiting for it to spike again. We have a large position on cold at a higher price already, and we're looking for it to add a position to scalp it again if it peaks around this 945. So somewhere up there, if it peaks up again, turns down, we'll add a scalping position in cold. So I hope that helps. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so we covered the VIX, the volatility, VTI, as we mentioned. We got stopped out, when it turned down the other day, and we're waiting to see if it's going to come back down. Now, if it runs away, that's okay. I could put my money elsewhere and make money, but if it does come back down, if the markets roll over again, wherever it bottoms, we'll take another swing at VTI. And then we talked about Yang, which is the short on Chinese tech, and Yin, which is the long on Chinese tech. And you'll see again, it went through a reverse split recently, so the price jumped up. So you kind of have to zoom in to see. So now we'll talk about the bullpen. Go ahead, Andrew. Yep. Jump over to the bullpen. I'm waiting for Andrew's question. Yes, and please, if you ask a question and I didn't see it, please, you can put it in the comments to the video. Hopefully you join us in our Discord and you can ask questions there. If you'd like me to do a due diligence video, a deeper dive into a particular company stock that we haven't done one on, I can, put that in the queue and eventually get to that. Oil per barrel, what was your top? 130, I believe, was the most recent peak. Yep. So I'm looking at the most recent peak. If it breaks that and turns down, I'll take another scalping position in oil. So now you can see that, both if you're playing with drip, I'm looking at the peak price of oil, but then I'm waiting for drip to bottom and turn up. So it's not a direct correlation between the oil price and drip because they're oil and gas exploration companies. So even though oil may peak, drip may not have achieved a bottom yet. So I'm going to wait for it to bottom like that and then turn up, break the VWAP, and then that's kind of behaviors where I would initiate a scalping position. And it should correlate roughly with a peak in oil price. So again, I'm looking for it to break 130 or higher in WTI. So, and I've shown you guys in some of the other videos. I usually watch the commodity graphs in investing.com on another machine, and so I'm watching oil, natural gas, silver, gold, etc. I can flip over and watch the indices and the VIX, etc. So. Yeah, if you want long oil, it would be UCO. Short oil would be SCO. If you wanted to long natural gas, it would be BOIL, BOIL. I'm just not looking to long any of those. They're so high. To me, the risk reward, it's better to short them because eventually they'll go down. So that's my mindset. Again, if you're day trading, you want to ride the momentum, whichever way it's moving. jump on, be ready to jump off, be nimble. So what we've got in our bullpen, and if you're new to our channel, the concept of the bullpen is ones we're not watching real time during the day, but I go back at the end of the day and revisit our bullpen, see if they have a better setup. If they do, we move them up to our real-time watch list. If the setup degrades, like you can see, I'm taking all the uraniums off the bullpen because uranium's all run up now, and I'm not going to chase it. I will just wait for uranium to cycle back down, and then we've got our list of, which ones to look at that we might want to then long uranium. I don't know offhand of a ETF to short uranium. Probably should look at that one of these days, but it's just run up. It's not peaked yet. So Bosch, as we'll see, that's already bounced up. We're going to take that off. The one we're going to add this week to our bullpen is Ford. And thank you to Money Mitch, Story Investors. He pointed Ford out as a potential swing trade in one of his recent Benzinga shows. I show up a lot of times in the morning show with Money Mitch, occasionally some of their other shows. And he pointed Ford out, so I took a look at it. We like Ford a lot lower. Back when GE and Ford were like $5, we made a nice profit on GE. I missed Ford at the time, but we're going to keep an eye on Ford. It seems like it's come down. It does pay a dividend. They've got earnings coming up. If they have poor earnings, that might be a good opportunity. They're expanding their EV manufacturing. So we're gonna keep an eye on that in our bullpen, and if it does come down, the risk reward's not the greatest now, as we'll see. So if it comes down, I like it. So you see, we'll keep FCAP. We're gonna watch both SOXL, SOXL, and SOXS. SOXL is the long on semiconductors. SOXS is the short on semiconductors. Again, this is I think a good day trade, scalping, potential swing. We did have a position in SOX, made some nice money when it dipped down, and it's been choppy lately. They've been flipping back and forth. So again, I think there's opportunities there. We're going to keep an eye on it and take an appropriate position. And then we also talked that we moved yin and yang up to our watch list. So we'll look at our bullpen stocks. Okay. Oh, yeah. Good question, Andrew. Do I think it'll end up or down for the week? I really don't know. There's a lot of variables this week, particularly the CPI data. Now, a general answer to that is we're in a bear market. So if you had to guess, just flip a coin, you'd say, okay, we're still in a bear market, so it'd be down, right? Now, I could be totally wrong. This week could be green, and we could still be in a bear market, right? So that's why 2 weeks ago our topic was adapt. We adapt to the market conditions that we see. We don't want to have a preconceived mindset that says, oh, it's got to be up, we're going to long. No, we're going to be adaptive. If it's down, then we want to look at shorts. If it turns up for a day, we can play the upside and make money. So again, if we want to make money, and that's our goal here, we want all of you to make money, and we want to make money. So being adaptive. And then this week we talked about being defensive. So again, you're going to get these violent bull rallies in bear markets. So You want to be adaptive. You don't want to get hurt because of one of these violent bull rallies, and then assuming the market's turning back up and we're still in a bear market and it rolls over and goes back down. So again, those are our topics for the past 2 weeks: is be adaptive, be defensive. Don't blow up, stay in the market. So here's our bullpen. So as we talked about Bosch. Again, this is an online solution company, a software company. They're profitable, but it's a low float. It's a little high right now. If it comes back down, probably take a crack at it. SPAC was asking about Bitcoin, so we can see where it is, kind of where I've got a target line. I'm not real hip on buying Bitcoin right now. Again, that's a longer discussion. I'm a little more interested in Ethereum because of its utility with NFTs, etc. But it seems like NFTs, something I talked about before too, is way back in the my video on the Gartner hype cycle. They pointed out that NFTs were at peak hype, and guess what? NFTs are rolling over into the trough of despair. So again, longer discussion, but yeah, NFTs are definitely kind of falling off the cliff. So Ethereum is probably going to go down with that. Could be because that was the main utility for Ethereum was its use in NFTs. Now, again, longer discussion. I'm just kind of watching it and seeing what's going on. But if we get an extreme bottom, I'll probably buy some Ethereum and hold on to it for a while. What are your thoughts on defense aerospace? We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and it is in the notes going back a few weeks for the weekly trading game plans. They'd be in part 1 of past couple weeks. That I think aerospace defense is a good recession hedge, inflation hedge, because they typically price as, and I've worked for aerospace defense companies, so they do cost plus. So they get paid their costs, so they're an inflation hedge, and a certain profit margin might be 6% or whatever above cost, and it's a long-term government contract. So again, I think it's a good inflation and recession hedge. I'd have to look at individual stock performance to say which ones, but there are ETFs that you can play the whole industry, and that might be good if you're looking for that kind of a hedge. So I hope that helps. And again, these are all things we can talk about more detail in separate videos in the Discord, etc. So I'd encourage you to do that. I'll respond as I am able. So we talked about we're going to take DNN off. You can see how quick and easy it is in Webull to maintain your watch list. I just right click. Okay, I'm going to take that guy off. LEU is another uranium. We're going to take that guy off for now. We added Ford. You can see here's Ford. It's right now about 13. We zoom out a bit. We see 12 is a pretty good support level. So yeah, Ford's looking like a decent swing. We see we've got upside up to about 25, so it's a double. I'll take that. That's not bad. Yeah, I like Ford. If it dips back down to that 12 area, I think we'll get some Ford. Does pay a dividend. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again to Mitch, Money Mitch, for pointing that one out. So FCAP is, again, a regional bank, a low float regional bank. It's kind of choppy, but it's held up pretty well. So you can see we kind of like it at this recent low, about 33, and we might take that. That's not a bad one either. Grow is an investment company. They invest in cryptocurrency, gold, silver, etc. We'd kind of like it a little bit lower. Roku, boy, we've been watching Roku for a long time. It seems like it's got a stable bottom down here, and it seems like it may be rolling back over to this bottom. We keep missing it. It seems to bounce really quickly. So, boy, I've got to do better and be more nimble. When it bottoms, it tends to bounce. So this 75, 78 area seems to be a good support area. So if it comes back down there, I'm going to have to watch it closely for that bounce. I like them long term. It is very volatile, but I'm trying to see what's going on in the chat. Yep, defense sector. Yep. Yeah, Lockheed Martin's popular. Careful with Boeing. They've had so many issues, although they are defense. Yeah, people like Lockheed Martin. Raytheon's another one. People like Katos. We have a position in KTOS. They do drones. That was the one that gapped down below my stop, and so I cleared my stop. So we are still long. K2OS, we also are long. ARI, AIRI, they do the Sikorsky helicopters, etc. So we've got a couple in our portfolio right now. I don't know of any others offhand that are attractive. We'll see if any pop up in the queries I run. And then we talked about SOXL and SOXS, short and long semiconductors. So you can see there's the long, it's a little up, short's a little down. So again, opportunities to day trade, scalp, etc. Semiconductors. Yeah, I agree. Tanvir, again, as we talked about, the defense sector is not bad. They're going to have increased sales, etc. DFEN, is that the ETF? Yeah, okay. So thank you, Andrew, for that out. If I don't have that one in my list, I need to add that one. DFEN for the defense industry ETF. So treasuries, we talked about part one. We're kind of waiting for the Fed to finish their quantitative tightening, sell off all their bonds. Then we kind of expect a bottom in bond price, and then which would be a peak in bond yield. And then we're going to look at longing bonds again, potentially. We talked about yang and yen, shorting and longing Chinese tech stocks. So that's what's in our bullpen. And I'm going to try to wrap up quickly. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about DFEN. Yeah. Yeah. If I don't have that one, I'll run that ETF, add it to the database, add it to my ETF spreadsheet. I am working on the ETF spreadsheets. I'm just swamped with everything. So I'm looking for some additional ETFs to play some of these treasury notes, because it looks like this 2-year treasury had an opportunity. I pointed that out in part one. Yeah, LABU and LABD are the short and long on biotech. That's, again, another scalp day trade opportunity if you want to play that. But yeah, it's been volatile. So again, I'm looking at further ETFs on some of the treasuries. Also, we talked about the trading volatility, and I went over a whole series of ETFs that you can use to trade volatility. I'm looking for some others about trading volatility on the dollar. I believe there's some ways you can trade volatility on the dollar index, etc. I, again, just need the time to go into that. And then also we have the video on using SPXS and SPXU versus SPXL and UPRO for longing and shorting the S&P. So okay, so I'm trying to see if I can catch anything in the chat before we wrap up. Again, please, if I miss your question, please put it in the comments to the video, put it in the Discord, ping me on social media, our Facebook group, etc. So I'll wrap up in a minute so it doesn't get too long. No, I haven't been looking a whole lot at biotech because I kind of, my opinion is, most of them, and I've stated this I think numerous times, most of them lose money, and in this current market condition, with rising inflation, etc., I don't see a lot of people investing in biotechs right now. In general, you saw your random one might get a acquisition, a buyout from big pharma, um, and I think we're going to see more of that. But guessing which one's going to get bought out at what time and at what price is difficult to guess unless you have some kind of inside information, which I don't generally have. So. Yeah, not spending a lot of time. I'm pretty much ignoring healthcare and biotech right now, just because of the market conditions. If things change, and we used to invest, and again, longer story. One of these days, I'll tell you, how we started out. We started with small accounts, and we used to trade a lot of penny stocks, a lot of biotechs, shotgun approach in biotechs. I like biotechs. For growing, potential for growing a small account, but just not in this current market condition. So I can't recommend that for this market condition. That's my opinion. Again, not financial advice, but that's my current opinion. If things change, yeah, we've been all in biotechs in the past. So again, adapt. Okay, so shopping list. Please see, we've had a lengthy discussion on inflation and recession proofing your portfolio. Again, I would go through your shopping list and make sure that your stocks you have in your shopping list are both inflation and recession proof. And then also think about, we've got some topics in there where we're talking about, again, we talked about the defense industry as a opportunity. We talked about the discount retailers like Big Lots as an opportunity. Add stocks to your shopping list that are going to be inflation proof and recession proof. And again, as we added this week from Kramer, is they're not losing money. So again, we talked about biotechs. Anybody who's losing money right now, you want to avoid. Particularly, they got high debt. I heard another video today about zombie companies, and that's another area. And so maybe I'll make a separate video on avoiding or beware of zombie companies and what that all means. Those are ones that can't pay their debt, and they're at risk. So they either get bought out, consolidate, or they go under, or they get bailed out. So maybe we'll do a video on zombie companies. So do you guys have any final questions, comments, anything you want me to look at right this second? Otherwise, I want to wrap up so this doesn't get too long because we want people to come back and watch as well. So. I appreciate all of you for joining our live stream and everybody that watches the video afterwards. This is great. We're growing our community, and that's what I want. Please share this with your fellow traders. Share the video. Share the Discord invite. Invite your fellow traders to our YouTube channel. The more people we get in, sharing ideas, helping each other out, that really helps. So. Yes, this is all, the Discord is free. You can join the Discord free. Obviously, all the YouTube stuff is free. Am I trading from the beach? Not directly yet. I'm working on that one. Longer discussion again. I am very close to the beach. Again, long stories. When we travel, we've been to like Cozumel and places, and I love sitting out on the porch with my laptop and being able to trade from the beach. I can't wait to get there again, but I have a problem with being able to see screens on the beach. So I do have a design for a solution for that. I just need to be able to implement it at this point. So. But that has been my lifetime goal, is to be able to make money while I'm lying on the beach, or worst case, being able to work from the beach. And like I said, I designed a solution many years ago, and some of the pieces are now technologically more feasible. So one of these days, yep, I'll be trading from the beach, and I'll do a video. So from the beach. So no, if you Douglas asked about Starlink, we have another. Again, I'm going to get off here real quick, but just so y'all know, we have another YouTube channel called it's called Virtual Consulting. The short URL is Virtual Consulting 101, and I've got another video coming out at noon. Talking about automation. So totally different thing, but you'll see from my automated alerts, these things kind of go together as I automate my trading. So I know I'm babbling now, but the reason I mention that is we recently got a device to do a mobile Wi-Fi hotspot. It's called the Verizon Orbic LTE hotspot. And we have a series of videos reviewing that product. And that is for trading while traveling or consulting while traveling. And you'll see we took it up to Coco not too long ago and did an actual test. So that would give me satellite connectivity, a Wi-Fi hotspot from wherever. And that's why we got that, is we want to go places that will not have won't have internet connectivity, or it won't be stable, reliable. You'll see another one of our trading while traveling videos. We went down to the Keys, and although we had a Wi-Fi connection, the bandwidth wasn't really sufficient to trade effectively. I mean, I traded. I had several laptops up on a table in the porch and traded, but the bandwidth was an issue. So this Orbic Wi-Fi hotspot is a way that you can get internet connectivity elsewhere. So go over to our Virtual Consulting 101 is the URL name, title Virtual Consulting. You can see videos on the review of the mobile Orbic mobile hotspot. You can see the videos that I'm doing on automation, and in our Discord, you'll see that many of the tweets, etc., are posted by a bot called the Zapier bot, and that is automation that I developed using the Zapier tool. So a lot of these videos, there's the video from the Virtual Consulting channel, are being generated by automation that I've built using the Zapier tool. So sorry to get off topic. Again, hopefully I answered your question. We could talk about that again further. But again, thank you all for all your participation, all the great questions, all the great conversation. Let us know, what else can we do to help you succeed in your trading? How can we improve these live streams? How can we improve our videos? How can we improve our channel, our Discord, etc.? We have a suggestion box channel in our Discord, and you can find the invite to the Discord in the description box below. And we welcome suggestions for improvement and your participation. So let's help each other out. Let's make some money. Let's succeed in our trading careers. So thank you all again, and have a great rest of your weekend. Good luck, and have a great trading week. Thank you again.